Episode 8 of 4 Minutes begins this finale with Time's 4 minutes. It seems that he has given up on avenging his parents. He is a kind and sympathetic doctor to his patients and even agrees to the post of a professor at the hospital. As for his breakup, he is much more sympathetic as he apologises for everything and they part cordially. We also see that the ex, Nutcha, had been helping with his grandmother's diabetes. Whenever Time is alone, the clock is stuck at 11:02. Great shows up for a checkup and there seems to be some mutual attraction there. However, Time notices that when Great leaves, the clock changes to 11:03. He heads out for his lunch and finds Great waiting for him. Great asks him out to dinner and they have a sweet date, which is the beginning of their relationship. Time invites him home and Great hits it off with his grandma. Time cooks for him and even teaches him how to play the guitar. They are super lovey-dovey as they spend their time together. One night, when Time is alone in Great's bed, he hears Den calling out to him. He warns him not to let the clock cross 4 minutes. Water falls on Time's head and we see in real time that Den and the paramedics are trying to resuscitate him while it rains. A door opens with blinding light, but Time avoids it as he recalls Den's research and calls out to Great. In Great's 4 minutes, where he is shot by the temple assassin, he hears Time's voice. Before Time can say anything more, he comes back to reality and Den takes him to the hospital. Later, we see that Great survives as well. Back to the gambling drama, Korn asks for Sai to act on her promise and tell her father, Warrett, to restore the Surratt's reputation. However, she claims that nothing can be done. Their marriage is not useful to her anymore either and she kicks him out. Korn recalls his father's final order and goes to the abandoned warehouse where he finds a secret stash of money and the phone with all the shareholders' details. Instead of destroying the phone though, he calls Wan Chai's number, the man Warrett shot after he hacked their gambling operations. Wan Chai's daughter picks up and Korn tells her about Warrett. Meanwhile, the cops are hot on Tonkla's tail as the chief wants him arrested for Title's death. They put out an APB for him and Korn learns of it via the news. He is finally able to get in touch with Tonkla and they have a tearful reunion. Korn apologises for abandoning him and promises to help the guy escape. However, someone spies them and reports them to the cops. A jealous Win is upset that Korn is with Tonkla and orders a pursuit unit. Tonkla and Korn are actually hiding at a hotel room when the cops show up. They try to escape but don't make it far as Win stops them. He tearfully asks Tonkla why he couldn't have let him handle the situation. Tonkla simply scoffs as he points out that he was much faster in avenging his brother by killing the two culprits. Korn has a bad feeling and Tonkla reveals that the second culprit is none other than Great. He also shares that he cheated on him and Korn is shocked by all the revelations. He decides to help Tonkla anyway and is about to shoot Win when the cop shoots at them. The bullet hits Tonkla who dies in Korn's arms. Distraught, Korn shoots himself and we see his 4 minutes. He wishes to run away with Tonkla after their first night together. At present, he dies while a stunned Korn watches on. 2 months later, we see that Time and Great have recovered and are praying for Time's grandma, Korn and Tonkla. Later, the two visit Den who is dating Lukwa. Korn is amused by the developments while Lukwa and Great experience deja vu. However, it is nothing supernatural as we get a flashback, and it turns out Lukwa was at an art exhibition on the 4 minutes during the cardiac arrest. Great is to meet Title at a bar in the same building but takes the wrong turn and enters the exhibit. Both of them watch as the presentation shares how patients relive their lives and try to fix past mistakes during their 4 minutes. After the presentation ends, Lukwa has a heart attack. Weirded out, Great runs off. Now remember, he wasn't really a good guy in the past. So it seems that the exhibit stayed in Great and Lukwa's mind when they both went into cardiac arrest, which is why they recalled the memory of the art exhibit during their 4 minutes. At present, Great is working at a restaurant. His mum calls and shares that they are always on the move. She tells him to get the money from the warehouse so he doesn't have to struggle. But that's not the only reason, as she wants him to give some of that money to a minister who can help resolve their case so they can return home. Great is frustrated but meets with the minister all the same. However, he records a meeting and gives it to the cops who arrest the minister. Time tells Great to be careful of the repercussions, but he doesn't care as he doesn't want his parents to return and create problems again. Great also turns himself in for helping Title dispose of Dome's body. As for Time, he promises not to be impulsive anymore, but he is still looking for evidence against Warrett to avenge his family. Through Win, we learn that Wan Chai's family had kidnapped Warrett and held him hostage. The sound of torture had the neighbours reporting the location, and while the one cheese escape, a battered Warrett is taken to the hospital. Time visits and imagines killing him. A teary-eyed Versailles shows, and Time decides to let Warrett live as he will be disabled for life, which is punishment enough. At the end of episode 8, Time and Great visit the random hotel where they had hidden in Great's 4 minutes after saving Nan. They go on a boat ride, and Time tries to reassure Great that the court will be lenient on him as Dome's death was out of its hands. To change the topic, Time comments that it's funny that they are finally at the same hotel in real life, and assumes that Great knew about it from before. However, Great points out that he had truly driven at random and never knew the hotel existed before his 4 minutes limbo. Time gets scared as he wonders if they are still actually stuck in their 4 minutes. It doesn't help that the time is actually 11:04. However, a minute later, these concerns are squashed as the watch changes to 11:05 and they sigh in relief as it confirms that they are alive and back in the real world. Well, with 4 minutes ending, this exciting thriller comes to an end too. Unlike the studio's previous thriller, which is DFF, which had us second guessing reality until the last second, thankfully this one does give us closure on all fronts and for all couples. Poor Korn, Tonkler and Win have the saddest endings, while Den and Lookwire were cute, even though we barely got to see them together, which is a bit of a shame. As for our main couple, they almost had us worried with the boat scene, with Time wondering if they were still stuck in a 4 minute limbo. But it seems like a pure coincidence that the 4 minute Great and the real Great ended up at the same hotel. There's a lot of focus here on Great's redemption as well, as we were reminded with that Lookwire flashback that he wasn't really a good person. We were wondering if he would ever pay for dumping Dome's body, but turning himself in wins him some brownie points at least, that's for sure. And while we understand where his mother was coming from, it's still satisfying to see Great ruin his parents' plans. But we're not ready to say farewell to this TBL just yet. The 8 episode run truly feels too short, with there being so much more to explore, such as Versailles' dream, Tonkler's hallucination of the dead, and Time's parents, to name a few. It would be nice if we actually got a second season with a longer version of Time's 4 minutes to flesh out more of this world. Either way though, 4 minutes ends with a decent enough conclusion, making it a solid watch. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.